On the icy wasteland of the moon Arganis, there is a base under the control of Sept Grimmar known only as XB-078. This isolated base is held under top-secret clearance, buried deep within the snowfield, where only those assigned to its project can find it. The facility has been conducting secret experiments attempting to find the long-term effects of astra on the use of the human body, along with attempts to modify the human body to make better use of astra. These experiments have been going on for years, and many believe that a breakthrough may be near. That is, until strange occurrences began to happen in the facility. Unexplainable events growing more and more severe until disaster struck. These are the recordings of those events. Dorian, you wake up to the regular howl of your alarm. You've been here for years, yet the sound of it always seems to startle you. After instinctively shutting it off, you feel the regular chill of the facility begin its descent upon you. Even moving past the frozen wastelands outside, everything about this place seems to feel icy. The blank gray walls, the just cold enough to be uncomfortable temperature, even the stale white lights seem to feel cold and distant. Yet, the work must carry on. Who is Dorian? What role do they play in the facility, and how would he be preparing to start his day before the breakfast team meeting about to occur?
Dorian never wanted to be here. He never wanted to be anything other than comfortable. And this place is anything but that. He caught a break as a kid, living on the streets and enrolled. Worked his way up, and then got assigned here. And knowing this meeting is about to come, he hates meetings. And he would stay in bed as long as he could before rolling out in a crumpled uniform, wrinkled and matted with sweat. Damp, cold sweat from the chill of being on this facility. And breathe heavily, a sigh of exasperation. Another day, another dawn, but damn it, I hate it. And he would walk over to his footlocker, pull out his equipment, slap on his badge that identifies him as Lazari. Just a normal guard, just trying to get by. A good shot, but everyone calls him coward. And the badge is off center. It's not straight. It's crooked. His hair is disheveled. And he would open the door and step out, bags hanging lazily under his eyes, and wander to the meeting room as slowly as possible.
And as the door from your room opens, you find yourself in the common room. The space is split up into sectors with different teams, and each team has their own common area with each room attached to that common area. And only members of that team can get in and out of their own sector. And as you walk into the common room, it, just like your own room, is plain, sterile, sparse. But sitting at the table in the center, just a basic round table, is a man that you would know well at this point. He somehow always looks as if he's either on the brink of a panic attack or a laughing fit. You're not sure which. This is Dr. Adrian Paris. He is the team lead for your sector. He's just sitting at the table. He's got notes scattered all across the table, different files and folders. He doesn't seem to have noticed that you've entered yet.
I'm assuming the meeting's going to be held in here.
Yeah, this is just a meeting for your specific team.
Yeah.
So that it should just
Okay.
be the four of you to start the morning off.
Yeah. So I think Dorian has worn this joke out so many times. But he sits down across from him, puts his feet up on the table. You're not looking so good, Doc. Are you eating too many apples? Maybe keeping yourself away? You don't look healthy.
Yeah, he looks up at you with that face. You're not sure if he's about to laugh or if he's about to cry at the remark. Say that every morning, Dorian. Don't you even get tired of it once?
Never gets old, though. And he look across at Adrian. I'm imagining almost he looks worse every consecutive morning. Just somehow each day he looks a little bit worse. And looking at him like he's about to laugh or cry, like you said, you can't tell which. I kind of just like a little pang of sympathy would go through me. I mean, maybe I've been like way not necessarily rude to this person, but like I've treated him with such indifference in the past that I'm sure he won't take much comfort from this. But I kind of like slap him on the shoulder and stand up and stretch. And so, what's for breakfast then, Doc?
I'm sure they'll find the same pile of shit they always try to feed us. Bland, whatever. Not like it really matters.
At least it's
It's not
edible
just
shit.
a moment. Kind of. Edible enough. He manages to finally break that weird symmetry of happy and sad and crack a smile at that. As he does so, there's another door opens. And Megan, why don't you describe who we would see, what their role is, and how they're preparing themselves for this lovely meeting?
So, Chris, the door opens for her. She hardly even notices. The only way she would tell if it was open or not is just because of the sound, the whoosh. Her eyes are down, focusing on her notes, her papers. What she's wearing is definitely what she wore the day before and probably even the day before that. And her eyes are tired. There's very, very dark circles under them, but there is still that look of excitement, of intrigue that comes with being new to a job. She's tired, but focused, intent. Her hair is frazzled, but she kind of absentmindedly just like scratches it with her pen before writing something else down. And I don't think she would even look up as she kind of comes into this room and just kind of sits down, head buried in her notes.
The Doctor, the team lead, Adrian, would stand up, walk over to a couple blank cabinets up on the walls, opening them, grabbing out a couple of cups, just kind of turn a head back to the two of you. Anyone want some coffee this morning? It's going to be another long day.
Black as always, good sir.
Of course.
Yes, I'll take 2, please. just black.
Of course.
Thank you.
And while he's preparing, there's another of another door. The fourth common room, the only one that has not been opened yet this morning in this lovely little team sector you guys have. And Chad, why don't you tell us who we would see leaving his room, who he is and his role, the facility here, and what he would be doing.
Yeah. Yandu. Yandu is a fairly young-looking man, but he seems to have the age of years that are already taking upon him. A set of almost broken glasses hinge on the rim of his nose, and he looks like he has stayed up in both pain and just sheer force of will to push himself to deal with note-taking and all sorts of research throughout the night. Jesus. What time is it? God. His almost red matted hair sort of just bed frayed from lack of sleep, bags under his eyes, and he rubs his ginger beard and kind of adjusts his glasses so he can get a better look at the room. He glances around and sees Dorian and Chris both there, and as a researcher, he looks like he's constantly thinking about something, anything. But you look into his eyes and you also see pain. You also see that he seems to be struggling with something. And he keeps a small notebook, a small journal, fairly close by to himself as he sits down at the table. He places a hand on it, grabs one of the cups of coffee, and begins to just listen.
Well, it's 8 in the morning as usual. Andu. Bright and early Tuesday. My favorite day. He passes you a cup of coffee, passes another two down to the other two. 2 for Chris, 1 for Dorian, all black.
And I think Dorian would look up at Yondu as he comes in, and he'd have this can in his hand. And you guys know that this is like the only thing that they can eat here. It's like this Astra preserved, like, food, basically. And he kind of pops it open, and he looks up at Yondu as he sticks a fork in it, and the fork sticks up. It's like that thick. And he looks at him and, edible shit for breakfast again, Yondu. Would you like some? And kind of digs some out and takes a bite. Tastes like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think I'll just. I'll stick to the coffee. Thanks.
He just shrugs, like, suit yourself, as he shoves another like dollop of this like gray blue jelly into his mouth that quivers on the fork, and you can just hear this sound as he's like chewing on it because it's kind of rubbery. So everybody's lost a lot of weight if they had any weight when they came here.
Yeah, and Adrian would come back and sit down at the table. Kind of all of the rest of you circled around. Kind of take a bunch of the papers that he had just scattered out, kind of move them out of your areas, and kind of just stack them in a neat and tidy pile in front of him. Well, it's going to be another day of some tests. Yandu, of course, that'll mostly be for you. He kind of says that, like, he looks down at the table as he says that, like, knowing what they've put you through, all the stuff that they've done to you and its effects that it's had on you. He doesn't even want to make eye contact through some sort of guilt, even if he's just following orders. There's a couple of new things they want us to try. So just be ready for that.
Just spit it out. What exactly are they wanting to? And I'll use your words. What are they wanting to try this time?
They've been tinkering with the formula a little bit. They took out a little bit of the blue astra, put a little bit of the a little bit more red. They think that might change the way that it might affect you. Going see if the balance is any better.
He grimaces and he fights it back. He's like, you know, I watched when you did this to the rats. I watched how they reacted, and now I understand why I had sympathy for the rats in the first place. Yeah, so blue and red, huh? Okay. And he takes out his own little personal journal and he makes a quick note. And anyone sitting close to him might be able to see that this notebook is not a notebook of a man who is like super organized and OCD perfectionist. It is I write in the margins, I doodle in the edges, I make scribbles where I can. It's just all over the place. It seems to make no logical sense, but to him it makes perfect sense. And so he writes something that says red and blue day blank, like whatever it is, and then just hard line through it as if he's just aggravated by it being that particular amount of days going through this process.
Well, personally, I am very excited for these tests. I think this is the closest that we've gotten yet. I'm sure of it.
I imagine as she says this,
continues.
That Yandu
go ahead.
and oh, sorry. Oh, were you saying more? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I'm sure she says, like, oh, for me, I'm very excited about this test. I think it's got good potential. I think Yandu and Dorian exchange this look. Like, the two of them just look at each other. Because, I mean, Dorian doesn't have to go through what Yandu goes through. But at the same time, he's not a researcher. So I feel like, in some weird way, him and Yandu have connected over the fact that they both don't want to be here. So, like, he, like, looks at Yandu, and Yandu looks back at him. Or, like, I assume they do. And he kind of just gives him, like, a shrug, like, I'm sorry, man. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, and that would only be accentuated by the fact that both of you would know that out of all of you, Chris has the easiest and least this of the jobs here. She does most of the tinkering with the equipment and make sure that whatever is going into is the right amount set and the right formulas. So she's not actually in any danger, but she still gets to do all the tinkering and the research. And just, well, at least someone's excited. It's good. Enthusiasm leads to better results. At least that's
As
what they
as you
tell me.
say, at least someone's excited. Yandu gives this like, I'm just over here clapping for joy, Doc. Yeah. Look, what exactly are you expecting today? And then how many days have gone by roughly? If
Let's have you do this. Roll me a D10 and a D100.
87.
All right, and then the D10.
So just so a D10 and a D100, right? So I rolled a
So
D100,
87, and then just a
87,
D10.
and then just the straight D10. Okay. 5.
5 years and 87 days. That's how long you've been here.
Yeah.
And I imagine that Dorian would look over at Yondu, maybe trying to like perk him up a bit. Well, at least you weren't one of the rats. They didn't even get assigned a consent form. And he kind of just points the spoon at him, this fork. There is that. And takes another bite of this nasty jelly.
There is this deadpan silence as he looks at you. You don't know if it's just contempt or like, did you really just say that to me? Kind of look. He knows that like he's become friends. Like I imagine spending 5+ years with these people. He's gotten to be close with you guys, but it's this like I feel like a lab rat sort of mentality where it's like I know that there should be this human connection between us, but like I don't feel that right now.
And I think Dorian would realize his mistake as you just stare at him, and there's no smile or anything. Right, I'll just shut up. And he kind of like sticks the fork in and walks off, going into his room for a second before coming back out and sitting down.
And Adrian would kind of stand up and he would look away from you, Yandu, while he talks. It's clear that he doesn't want to look at you when he says what he's about to say. He says, well, unfortunately, the expected results of this experiment are classified. If we give you specific expectations, it could create a placebo or a nocebo effect, and we can't taint the results before they come in.
Yeah. Just like every test, classified. Yeah, I get it. Sure. It's okay. No, it's fine. I understand. Look, I signed on for this. I gave myself to this. It's my responsibility, right? Yeah. So, let me just get something in my system, okay? Let me just get some food in my system. And he looks at the jelly that is on Dorian's plate and not that. Just something in my body before you take it all out of me.
I think at this point you'd feel a tap on your leg. Because, I mean, like, I imagine they're sitting across from each other. And you'd kind of like, Dorian would look at you and then look down beneath the table. And you'd see that one of his arms was extended underneath the table. If you'd reach out underneath it and take it, your hand would come back with a God-sent meal. And what it is it's just a can of chicken. And for these people here in this facility, like this, like, I mean, I think Dorian had to jump through some hoops to get this. But this is like gold here when all you have is nasty jelly and black coffee.
So yeah, he feels that tap underneath his leg, and he sees that can, and then he looks up to you, and he takes the can from underneath the table. No words are exchanged, but there's a nod of understanding and a thank you. And Yandu is a lanky sort of guy. He's not a very strong man. He doesn't look very strong. In fact, 5 years of testing has made him look fairly weak and gaunt. But you see him basically grab at a knife, up on the table, and just start to try to pry it open like an old, like they would do in the old times, just popping a bean can open or something, just, and then like starting to try to eat the chicken out of the can.
Yeah, and the chicken is like probably still like a bit too old to actually eat. Like Dorian's been saving it for so long that it's probably gone a little bit bad, but it's still like so much better than the food that you would normally eat on a day-to-day that it's like a Thanksgiving feast to you in this moment. And Adrian would just kind of, well, no, we didn't have too much to go over this morning, but we'll get started in about 15 minutes. We'll head over. So, do whatever you need to do in the meantime. Gather your things, have another drink, have some food, whatever. And we'll be on the way, okay? And he would go, there'd be another of his door to his personal quarters. And he would walk in before it whizzed shut.
Imagine Dorian would look across the table at Yondu. So blue and red, huh? Interesting. Aren't they like supposed to be exact opposites of each other for what they do? I mean, I don't claim to know exactly what I'm talking about. I haven't studied Astra or anything, but from what I've seen other Mansers do.
I think at that, like, Chris would just like totally interrupt your conversation and just say, well, actually, blue and red Astra are said to come from the same source, but, and she just goes on into this like long rant about stuff and using big words just for the sake of using them, and she just talks very animately and very excitedly, and then she's like, so yeah, it'll be a very interesting study to see how the blue and red Astra just interact and see if we can actually trace back, their roots, their origins, see what kind of makes them what they are.
And I think Dorian would be like trying so hard to like pay attention. And I mean, like, there are all these like big fancy like scientist words like, like we need to do this and the electrical flux of this or whatever. And he's like, yeah. And while he's like listening, he's kind of like taking another bite of this nasty blue goo. And you see it's like kind of staining his teeth a little bit. And that's very interesting. I mean, my speculation was obviously wrong, but thank you for informing me.
Oh, yes. Well, this is at the cutting edge, so I wouldn't imagine someone like you would really understand a lot of it.
No, of course. Someone like me, yes. That's why I'm just the guard here. It's not my job to know things. I just shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
And he goes bang, bang.
And she just smiles and just like the most genuine smile, and just kind of continues back to writing.
And when she turns back to the writing, he turns and looks at Yondu and gives him this wide-eyed look like what? And then kind of just turns back to the goo, just like, okay. Yeah, innocently patronized. That's a good.
Yondu is just silently sort of eating this chicken in the can. Every now and then he'll stop, place the can on the table between chews, and maybe mark a note or write a note. And he looks at the Dorian, and as far as red and blue is concerned, I don't know. It's this weird idea they have. The idea that red is the most volatile of all astra, and that if it can somehow be contained by combining it with the healing properties of blue astra, then you could potentially have an unstoppable weapon, a Mancer who could, I don't know. Look, I didn't sleep very well last night. I'm just gonna eat, and we'll get to it when we get to it, right?
I feel like at this point Dorian finishes off the goo. Well, today's rations of edible shit's gone, and he kind of picks up the table, like not the table, the plate, and walks it over to the sink, sticks it in there, and I almost imagine that they're rationing water and everything too. So just like this trickle of water comes out, and he's like scrubbing at this nasty goo. I swear to you, this stuff's like oil. It just sticks to everything. And he's like scrubbing really hard at it, just trying to get it off. And he would turn and walk back and sit down at the table again, kicking his feet up. Every day is just like another hell, just one after the other. Maybe if we petition hard enough to let us sleep in a bit. I think that would help you be healthier, right? And he looks over at Yondu, maybe hoping that he can use that as an excuse to get them to let them sleep longer or something. And I imagine Yondu just eating the chicken, maybe just ignoring him or something.
Yeah, you'd think that. Hey, listen, off chance, as a kid, I gotta ask you a question. Did you ever have night terrors as a kid?
Did ever what? He didn't hear you very well.
Night terrors. Did you ever have night terrors?
If you mean trying to sleep each night, not being able to, never knowing if you're going to wake up alive, then yeah. Yeah, I had night terrors.
Yeah. Harbinger will do that to you. Look, when I was a kid, I had night terrors. I couldn't sleep very well. I had a problem. Come to find out, hey, there's a reason you can't sleep, kid. Your body's filled with like an astra. Yeah. So you work and you work hard to learn why your body is doing what it's doing. And no matter what pain it's caused you and how frustrating it can get, you keep pushing and you keep telling yourself that it'll get better. And then you find people who say they can cure you. And then they try. And then they can't. And so you say, I'm going to try to find one myself. And so every night when you go to sleep, the same images when you were a kid haunt you over and over and over. So yeah, I think extra sleep would do me wonders.
Guess everybody can't be alike. I'm sorry about that. It would do me wonders, but sorry to hear that. And he'd look over at you. I mean, real sympathy. I assume that he to some degree knew about those already. I mean, like you said, 5 years, like that's a long time. But I mean, he's been placated, definitely. Like he would just kind of sit there quietly. Like, I'm just saying that when I was a kid and when I signed up to learn how to shoot this damn rifle, and he puts the carbine on the table, and I just never thought that I'd be spending 5 years of my life eating blue shit from God knows where and waking up every morning at 8 o'clock and standing around all day, not doing anything and being bored out of my mind. And I know, I get it. Okay, Yondu, I understand. It's worse for you. I get it. I know. This isn't a life that I thought I'd be living or wanted to.
Look,
I'm sure it's the same for you.
If you want, if we ever, go back to whatever real world is, you really want to know what it's like to deal with this. I'm sure we could figure out a way. But look, I almost wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, so make your choices. Sometimes I'd rather be just a guard with a rifle, make life easier.
I mean, look, that's what I'm saying is I understand it's harder for you. I'm not saying it isn't.
No, I know.
What I'm saying is I expected more out of life at this point. And Dorian's young. He's so young. He's like 21 years old.
And if you're 21, he's probably 26. So you've been observing him since you came to, if you've been here for 5 years, so since you've been here, he's probably been here with you.
Yeah, definitely. And then that Dorian has you would think that he'd have the most freedom, like of being here. Like, I mean, he doesn't know the details of the experience, of the experiments. He's not the person being experimented on, but he has no way of getting out of here. He signed a 10-year lease with the facility. And if it takes that long, he has to stay here the whole time. So, I mean, in a way, he's just as much a prisoner as anybody else, albeit one that's not experimented on.
You two are not morning people. I think that this is great. This is such a wonderful opportunity to figure out what's going on and and to help people in the future. Don't you think that's worth it? Maybe a bit of boredom, a little bit of pain here and there. Isn't that worth it?
Crystal, I mean, look, the optimism is uplifting. It really is. You're like here and we're like here. But listen, when was the last time you saw the sun? When was the last time you walked outside of constructed hallways in the grass and smelled a flower and ate some food from a street vendor? When was the last time you lived?
Well, I
This
don't
isn't
understand
really-
the need to go out in the sun. They do supply us with D vitamins here. And I guess grass, there's the chlorophyll, but
Oh, Jesus.
no, I could put in a word to get in some chlorophyll in if you guys would want.
Dorian, just don't even try, okay? She's a researcher, all right? That's what she does. If they weren't using me as an experiment, then I'd be in her same boat. But look, even then, I'm not that statistically stagnant. Okay, like, no offense, Chris, but some days maybe you'd like to get out of that book of yours. I know I sure as hell would.
I feel like Dorian's waiting for the punchline, like for like Chris to like, and like it still blows his mind to this day, like he said how stagnant she is. Like he's waiting for her to be like, yeah, but I miss the sun. It's like, but then she's like, maybe I get him to give us some chlorophyll or something, and he's like, you have not lived. Once we get out of this research, Chris and Yondu, I am personally making sure that both of you find, or we go somewhere, get some sunshine, live it up a little bit. We're going to have a feast, and I'll be damned if I don't eat an entire chicken myself. And he would kind of be like he's going to say something else. And he'd look at Chris again. No more. You need to start looking forward to the light. And he'd stand up and walk back to his room, just like, can't believe it.
And Chris would just kind of look to Yondu and just say, do you think he's upset?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Not in the slightest. What would make you even think that?
Sometimes inflections in voices can really throw me off, so I wasn't sure, but thanks. I'm looking forward to the experiment today. She just keeps writing.
Yeah. See, this is why we work together, because I can say things like that, and you don't even understand, do you? No, you don't.
And you'd hear a shout from his bedroom as he's kind of like still hears the words coming from out there. They strive off of apathy, man. It's how they live.
It's not too long from there that there's another whirring, and Dr. Adrian comes out of his room, his face somehow even more caught in balance between terror and ecstasy, even more so than normal. But his voice stays calm. All right, well, you guys ready? We'll head over as soon as we're...
And I think Dorian would come back into the room now, hearing Adrian talking to them, and just like give him like this look, like, okay, are we starting yet? Or
All right, well, if you'll follow me then, I'll take you to the lab room that we'll be using today. And unless anybody has anything last they would like to do while in the commons room and near your own rooms, the doctor will lead you out of the room, down a hallway, into the laboratory room that is within your team sector. There's a large kind of glass window that goes down the entire hallway that goes across into the lab room. Wayne typically observes you guys from outside, not wanting to involve himself too deeply in the actual goings on of the experiment. His role being more note taking and supervisory. But he would slide open the door, light bow and a hand gesture, and would follow you guys into the room. Yandu, they would sit you on this. It's almost kind of a raised bench, kind of like the like a bed that you would lay in at a doctor's office, like the kind of the raised thing where they'll sit you sometimes and lay you down other times. And from there, Adrian pulls out a couple different vials, some mixed with red, mixed with blue astra, these beakers and vials. Begins Gam. He looks over to Chris. You'll go ahead and get him hooked up. I'll get things taken care of on this end.
Of course, doctor. And she would just take them and just begin going forward and making sure everything is connected properly, everything is set up. Occasionally just like taking out her little arc tool and just making the occasional adjustments, checking her notes to see if they were correct and so on.
Alrighty, and if you want to go ahead and give me either there's a couple options that you could use here, either tech, astra, or medicine.
I think I will do tech. That is a 27.
That is plenty. Yeah, so even though you're one of the newer people here, you're smart, capable, and they've you here for a reason. Able to ease these Astra concoctions off to the side, get the different machines calibrated and set up. You string along a couple IVs and different electrodes and medical devices, reading devices, set into Yandu as they prepare to pump him full of this questionable mixture of Astra. And it's not too long before you have everything set up and have him wired up fully. From there, Adrian would kind of stand up. I've got ready whenever you are. So, if everyone's all set, start this first round. We can go ahead and give it a try.
As Yandu gets into this machine, as I assume. Fuck. Okay. Just one more time. Just one more time. It's okay. All right. Okay. Chris, before I change my mind, come on. Get over here. Do it. Do the thing. And he's prepped. He's ready. He's ready to go.
And Chris would just do a quick nod, already like pen poised, ready to take down any measurements or notes. And she would begin the experiment.
And so you begin the process of the IV drip as to pump into Yandu. The colors mixing. Yandu, you feel the familiar sensation of a rush of astra. And I'm going to need you just real quick to make an astra check for me, or a casting check. Yeah, actually just make a spell casting roll. For charisma and proficiency. I'm muted if you're talking.
Okay, so wait, so spellcasting roll. So like with my proficiency and
Yeah, so
everything.
your charisma and proficiency, like as if you were casting an attack.
So 18 then.
Perfect. So, oh Jesus. So you're gonna gain 3 fade automatically as part of the experiment. And then I will need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw.
Mind you cut out there for a second.
Wisdom.
Wisdom? Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 22. I got a nat 20.
17.
Beautiful. Then Dorian, you wake up to the regular howl of your alarm. You've been here for years, yet the sound of it always seems to startle you. After instinctively shutting it off, you feel the regular chill of the facility begin its descent upon you. Even moving past the frozen wasteland outside, everything about this place seems to feel icy. The blank gray walls, the just cold enough to be uncomfortable temperature, even the stale white lights seem to feel cold and distant. Yet, the work must carry on. Dorian, you wake up, but something feels weird. As if you're living a moment that you've lived already. But you look at the clock, 8 a.m., Tuesday morning. All the days seem to blend together anyways. It's hard to say for sure. What do you do?
I think every day feels like the same day for Dorian. But like as he kind of like swings his legs out of bed and kind of like sits there, he's like thinking for a second. Does he have any recollection of like the experiment at all? Or do things just feel weird?
So you like think and you can remember bits and pieces. It's hard to tell what's, happened now and what's happened yesterday versus the day before. It's also similar. But you think back and, well, what feels like it should have been yesterday, the day feels so short, as if it had barely started. But you look at your clock and Tuesday, 8 in the morning, it doesn't seem right. Shouldn't it be Wednesday? Why does it say Tuesday?
Yeah, I think he's incredibly confused. And he's just like, man, it's so, and he kind of like puts his head in his hand. And I mean, like, he thinks maybe the alarm clock broken, like maybe it was actually yesterday was Monday. Like everything's blended together. 5 years, 87 days, everything feels the same. And it kind of just shakes his head like, that's so. And he stands up, puts on his badge, is crooked, lopsided. His hair is messy and everywhere. He kind of smooths it down a little bit, trying to get stay in place. Opens up his footlocker, pulls out his carbine, and slings it across his shoulders. Looks around the room one more time. I could have. No. And he kind of stands up and walks towards the door and opens it and steps out into the main room. Is Adrian sitting there already?
Yeah, you see the table with Adrian in the chair. Papers scattered all over what's normally the plain round table. He's hunched over the table. In fact, it looks like he's been here long enough that he fell asleep. Like his hands are up on the table. His head's kind of tilted down to the side, resting on his arms, just covering some of the papers that he had spread out. As you kind of come in from behind, you see him from the back as he's just kind of hunched in the chair. He doesn't acknowledge you as you enter.
He'd walk up behind Adrian and put a hand on his shoulder and shake him gently. Does he respond?
No. And make a perception check.
I am doubly proficient in perception.
Beauty.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, cool. So
Yes.
I'm doubly proficient. So that would be 23.
You pull in and as his body kind of moves, one of the papers you see that was kind of under where his chest was, as you shake him, his body moves. You see blood on the page. You move around instinctively, and as you pull his body up, you would see in the center of his chest, right where his heart would be, blood covering where a bullet hole had shot.
Wait, so he's been shot and killed.
That's what it looks like.
I'm looking at him holy. And I'd kind of rush to the other two people's rooms and I'd open the doors, punch in a code if I have to or something to force the door open. And I would check on each of them. Are they still alive?
Yeah, so the other two of you guys you would have woken up, you're getting ready, and then suddenly, I'm going to say it's Chris first. You see your door just opens as Dorian opens it from the outside. You see him standing there, I imagine, looking panicked.
Does he have blood on him? Do you have blood on?
I probably do. I probably would have checked the wounds. It'd probably be very lightly on my hands.
Yeah, you'd probably see just a bit of traces on his fingers.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think she would think anything of that. She would just kind of be already just kind of writing and... Oh, good morning, Dorian.
And just quick side note, Chris, you would have that kind of thing, the same one that that Dorian had. Just something being weird about today being Tuesday. You thought it was the next day. Like you're not really sure exactly what was happening there, but that kind of goes from your head as Dorian is in panic.
Yeah, and I think that she would actually, until he came in, she'd be actually looking for, Tuesday's notes because she's very meticulous. She keeps everything together. She'd be looking for her daily notes from yesterday and probably not being able to find them or something like that. But yeah,
you would
she'd
see
notice
the
them.
notes you would see the notes started, like the first experiment, the prep notes are in there, and then just nothing.
Yeah, so she would just be looking very, very confused, and then when Dorian comes in, yeah. What are you in this wing?
Dorian would stop her before she could ask him her questions. Look, little Miss Apathy, get up. Something happened to Adrian. He's dead. Somebody shot him. And he'd run out the door without explaining anything else and run to Yondu's room to make sure he's still alive.
And I think that Chris would go into the common room to kind of check things out.
Yeah, and Adrian there. He's been now sat up in the chair where his kind of slumped backwards in it rather than over the table from when Dorian was checking, and you would see it clear as day. Blood just covering his dress shirt and his lab coat from the gunshot wound in his chest.
Now, would there be an emergency? Actually, she would go. Is there like a knife or something that she can go and get?
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be plenty of whichever sort that you needed, either knives from the kitchen or also, I imagine, like lab knives, medical knives, things like that.
Yeah, so she would just get like a fairly big knife. She would hold it like really awkwardly, and she would kind of go down to the corridor where Dorian and where Dorian is, when he's going to get Yondu. And she would just stand there. I don't know if Dorian's already at the door or Yondu's already there. But she would just say, Dorian, get away from Yondu. And she'd be like holding this.
Yeah. I imagine that Yondu, you'd probably be able to hear that shout. The walls here aren't like super thick, and they're not soundproof.
Dorian would turn to her and be like, look, see the knife in her hand. Chris, what are you doing?
Dorian, just come with me, and we need to contact the authorities or the emergency number. Please, just come willingly. And
he's looking at her confused until she says willingly. And then he is like, what? And then he looks down at her he's like, what are you talking? And then he sees his hands. No, Chris. No. I would not. No. You're jumping to conclusions here. I did not shoot Adrian.
It's the only rational answer. You expect me to think otherwise? There's only 3 of us in here who could have done it. It wasn't me. I'm sure Yondu. You're the only one with a gun. And who always says he knows how to use it. You're the gunman. I'm the gunman. And she's like getting kind of hysterical.
Roll investigation.
Yeah. In the meantime, Yondu, you're hearing all this, so I'm curious as to what you do in this situation. You're just this you don't know what's happening. In fact, Yondu, important to note that the strange feeling of deja vu that the other two are feeling, you don't feel at all. Like, it just feels like you've woken up Tuesday and it's a normal Tuesday morning, but you're woken up by shouting of Chris yelling at Dorian still, and Dorian's that he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so I imagine that like Yondu wakes up and he hears this commotion going on in the other room. God almighty, seriously. A guy works, gets his brain scanned, examined, blood probably drawn. Can't sleep a damn wink. And you two want to like bicker in the morning. That's wonderful. That's just absolutely fantastic. He basically walks out. I imagine that there's like some sort of door that, like an airlock door or something, that just opens up. God, what are you two talking about? And
Yeah, you would see it immediately. The very clear
okay,
dead doctor.
so that's new. What? I look to Dorian, and then I look to Chris, and I look back at the doctor. And then, okay then. Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't stress out. It's okay. Just
And real quick,
breathe.
can I just get investigation from Chris? Since the other two put it in the
that's
chat.
it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
17.
All right, so it would be Dorian that would notice it first. As you're just kind of looking over the scene again, in the doctor's right hand under it, you just barely see the edge of it, but there's a paper. It's folded into quarters, very poorly. Like the corners, they're not aligned at all. You can tell it was very hastily done. Some blood from his hand kind of covers the edges of it.
And I noticed that, but I've got more pressing issues on my hand with Chris holding a knife at me. So I'm like, look, Chris, you know me. I am not a violent person. I have never done anything violent in my life. I have not attacked anyone. I have not said anything mean to anybody. I am a good person, Chris. I would not shoot the doctor. Adrian was a friend.
Well, 40% of all murders are committed by people that the victim knew.
Oh, Chris, come on, use your head instead of your statistics. Be human for once.
Okay. First of all, look, it's not going to do any of us good fighting against each other. Right?
Yeah, agreed.
Right?
Right. That's why I am going to go push the emergency button.
No, you're not. Just stop. This is an emergency, but look, if you hit that button, you know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen? You two, because unless we have evidence, right? Unless we have evidence of something that happened, I haven't even looked at the body yet. But out of all of you, I probably knew Adrian better than both of you. That should not have happened. And I don't know what happened. But if we hit that emergency button, you know what's going to happen? Either one, nothing, because they will have forgotten about us, or two, we're going to have single from the 7 seps coming down here and taking me hostage, probably using me as an experiment on whatever God knows what they want to. And two, you two will probably end up in some sort of cell because they'll blame you, looking at Dorian, for the murder. Just saying, you are the one with the gun. So if we're going to jump to conclusions, that's what's going to happen. You're a lady of statistics. I know it. So let's think this through before we go pushing buttons. And I said that with like no sleep. So maybe I'm just not rational and do what the hell you want, but damn it, I can't drink my coffee with the body there. So I got to do something about that.
And Dorian's kind of like looking at him, and he's like listening to this whole thing, and he's like nodding along with him, and he looks back at Chris to see if she's like picking up any of this, and then he gets this idea. What do your alarm clocks say?
My alarm clock? What does that have to do with anything?
See, that's the number one sign of a serial killer, is changing the subject.
And he would just look at you, Chris, and go, "Zip it. The big kids are talking." And he'd turn to look back at Yondu.
Hey.
And he just walked back into Yondu's room and checked the alarm clock.
Look, Dorian, I'm trying to protect yourself, buddy. Look, you're a young kid. I get it. You don't want your reputation ruined. That makes 100% sense. But I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the hell's going on. I woke up to the two of you bickering and, yeah, a body with a bullet hole. Who here has guns?
Dorian runs past you with a worried look on his face into Chris's room and picks up the alarm clock in there.
Yeah, your clock, the clock in the commons room, Chris's clock, Yondu's clock. They all say the same thing. 8:16 a.m. Tuesday morning. Which just, you just get the feeling that that's not right.
Yeah. He'd look incredibly confused and just terrified, like, what is going on? And then he gets this other idea in his head. Yondu, did I give you chicken yesterday?
You don't remember any chicken. In fact, the idea of somebody having chicken in this facility is almost like a joke.
Come on now, Dorian. I mean, buddy. Come on. Chicken. When's the last time I even saw a chicken? Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and we'll grab a bowl of whatever gruel they put into my mouth. A nice hot black cup of coffee, sit down, and start this shit all over again. Huh? Yeah? What do you say? What the fuck time is it? Day 87 of year whenever. Because I've stopped caring at this point.
No. He gave you chicken. And you can see Chris just like kind of standing a few ways, like knife just like at her side, just like staring at you.
Hey, I would no, that's not funny. No. That's not funny at all. I would remember if someone gave me a chicken. I'd absolutely remember that.
You hear banging in Dorian's room and like moving furniture, and then he comes out with a can of chicken in his hand. This is the only one I had, and I swear I gave it to you yesterday.
Well, it's not open. And pretty sure I haven't eaten yet. But if you wanna give that to me, I'll gladly take it. But I mean, I feel unfair not sharing it with you because that's the last one.
Under
At
the
this
best, I
point,
didn't feel unfair
Chris,
about
you
yesterday.
also. Yeah. At this point, Chris, you also notice the folded up note under Adrian's hand. As a side note, do with that what you will.
I think Chris has been like during this time just like looking kind of from the body to the people and just kind of just with her brows furrowed, just kind of trying to think, and immediately she rushes over to the to get some sort of gloves, like latex gloves, and she kind of puts them on, and she goes to the Adrian's body and very gingerly, if there are latex gloves, which I assume there is since this is a...
Yeah, I'm sure there would be.
Okay. Yeah, she would just go and just kind of gingerly take this paper and just kind of very carefully open it up.
Yeah, and this is what you would see.
And she would try to keep as straight of a face as she could. And just kind of look at it, just kind of like nod her head and slowly fold up the piece of paper and just kind of just hold it in her hand. And she would just, well, whether he had chicken or not is not the issue at hand right now. And you can see that she's kind of like inching towards, is there like an emergency button room, something like that?
I imagine that there's like if you go out of the commons room and into the hallway that connects to the lab, where the door goes like out of your team sector, I imagine there's like a communication console like on the main locked door to your team sector.
Chris, where are you going?
And I forgot. I just need to check on something in the lab. We'll get this mess all figured out. It'll be fine.
She's sporadic. It's okay. Like, she'll come back. Like, go ahead. Go. It's fine. Dorian, I'll get you a cup of coffee. Just sit down, relax. Everything will be okay. Could you help me move the body though? Like, I feel disrespectful just letting him sit here.
I would just shrug. Yeah. Yeah, I moved over to help him. I would check. I'm looking at the bullet wound also. Does this look like it comes from a carbine, or does it look like a smaller weapon, or like what?
Yeah, carbine bullet.
It's what?
It looks like it came from a carbine.
Oh, lovely. Just heap more evidence on there, baby. That feels good. Okay. So yeah, I'd help Yondu like move the body into, I guess Adrian's own room. And I'd kind of just be staring at him like, what? I didn't even hear. Like, and then I get really, really, really scared because I start thinking like somebody's trying to set me up. And I take the clip out. Are all the bullets in the clip?
For one.
Everything except for one. I hate you. You're dead to me. I look at the clip in just terror. I mean, everything is pointing at me. And I just slump to the floor, my back against the wall in the common area, and begin to cry. I've got the carbine across my lap. I've got this what's it called? A magazine missing one bullet. The bullet wound in Adrian is from a carbine. I was the first one up this morning. There's blood on my hands. And I am terrified.
Yondu, can I talk to you for a minute? I need to show you something.
He takes a Yondu takes a moment to just like look at Adrian. Adrian and him, despite the constant research, were probably once friends. They were probably once colleagues, but once they found out that Yondu had Astra in his blood, that all changed. And he takes a moment, he's just somberly looking at him. He says, look, I'm not good with words. I never was, so I'll come back and we'll talk, but I'm sorry. And he gets up. He goes, yeah, I'll be there in a second. And he walks. He has his notebook in hand, and he writes in the notebook as he's walking towards you the date and time: Tuesday, 8:16 a.m. Adrian is dead. 5 years. Day 87. He's dead. Closes the book. And he walks over to you. Yeah, hon. How can I
Now, can we get to that area, for the hall in between the lab and the common area?
Yeah, everything would be open to you guys.
Okay. And she would just kind of grab Yondu by the wrist and just kind of like pull him, if she could, like just down the hall, close the door, and to this the button area thing for the emergency. I was right. I mean, of course I was right. It was the only logical explanation. It was Dorian. He killed Adrian. But we need to lock down this place right now.
Wait, whoa. You're saying the kid killed Adrian?
Yes.
No. Look, that Dorian's just a kid. All right?
Okay. Evidence. You want evidence. Evidence. Okay. And she kind of pulls out this sheet of paper, and she opens it up again, and she kind of shows it to Yondu. She said, Adrian was holding on to this.
He takes the paper. And is that blood that it's written in?
Yes, and you would have noticed when you and Dorian were carrying the body that his right hand was covered in blood. Even though there was no wound on his hand, like it was clear that he had a lot of blood on it. And the writing on the paper is in blood.
Okay. Shit. Oh man. No. This doesn't feel. This is. Oh, fuck.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're innocent.
No.
They'll put us in another
Yeah.
facility or even keep us in the same facility. We can keep doing the research.
Wow. Okay. Look, I don't know about you, and look, no offense to you, Chris. You seem like a lovely woman, but Adrian was my friend. Okay, Adrian was the first researcher to think he might have an opportunity at curing whatever the hell this is. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill the kid.
No. Don't.
Why not?
Don't be rash. Let's let
Why not?
security handle this. They have laws. We have laws for a reason. I was rash, and that was very not smart. It was very unlogical, unreasonable.
You want to talk logic? You want to talk reason? Okay. Look, I'm as much of a researcher as you are, and I understand that logic and reason make sense. But I have seen how they treat me. And I know that Adrian didn't want to do it. I could tell that he didn't want to put me through this. God damn it, Dorian. But what the hell? What the hell did Adrian do to Dorian? Okay? What did he do to Dorian that would deserve him getting a bullet in the head?
There could be many different motives or reasons. Someone of that caliber, stuck of that level of.
Yeah, but again, I'll reiterate. He's a kid. In comparison to you and me, he's a kid. He hasn't had a whole lot of life experience out there. And I'm pretty sure.
It only takes one bullet. It only takes one bullet.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Let's go back. I think logically. What time was it? It was 8:16 on the clocks. Okay. You said I ate chicken. I don't remember eating chicken. Do you remember anything else that happened before?
Would I know like anything else? Would anything else really come to mind other than just like a strange feeling?
Roll me just a flat intelligence roll.
That's an 18.
Yeah, the more you start to think, the more you try to like dig into that strange spot in your mind, that weird feeling. The more you start to feel more memory trickle in, the events of the day, of Dorian passing the can of chicken, the Yondu, Adrian mixing the astra, You even remember hooking Yondu up to all the IVs and the medical equipment. And just these like flashes of memory. But nothing past that in the day.
Look, there may have been something, but memory isn't logical. Memory is flawed. Memory can be messed up all the time.
Okay.
When I was young, you know, but this evidence, this is concrete.
All right. Okay.
But you can't kill him. You are an asset.
Okay, what's saying I can't kill him? Like what stops me? We're in the middle of nowhere in a facility where there's only the three of us. At the end of the day, like, just gonna say this. Who would miss him?
And you can see her kind of like looking down, just like thinking about it. And she's just kind of you know, the lab is very dangerous. There's lots of things that could happen.
Yeah. There are. Look, we can't leave the kid out there that long, especially not with a dead body. And if you're right, if he did do it, the longer we leave him out there with the body, the longer he has to clean up his mess. Look, as much as I absolutely hate the fact that you consider me an asset and not a human being, outside of Dorian, you're probably the only other human interaction I've ever had for the last 5 years. So, for now, he puts a hand out. Truce, you and me. If this thing gets messy, I got your back.
And she just nods. Yes, 2 is better than 1. Yes. She shakes her hand and she says, "Oh, but he has a gun."
Yeah. And I have a body filled with astra in the known realms. That's pretty equivalent. I mean,
oh, that would be very, very interesting to see the effects of what.
Oh,
sorry.
Jesus. Yeah, no. See, you're already pitting us against each other. I have become a research paper for you. Before we even, oh God, what did I do? I should have joined the kid. I really should have. It's okay. It's all right. Look, we can't. Okay, look at me. I know you know how to do straight face. Okay, I know you know how to be apathetic and not have any emotion on your face. When we walk out that door, we can't give any detail to the kid. Not one. We got to make it look like that was absolutely normal. Okay? All right. Let's play along with whatever he wants. I want him to feel comfortable. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
So just so I understand correctly, you guys are not going to press the emergency distress button before you go back into the room.
No.
Okay. So you guys head back down the hallway.
Yep.
See the window of the lab as you pass. The door opens back to the common room. There's still blood on the table. But no Adrian, as of course Yondu and Dorian have moved him. Would they see Dorian in the commons room when they returned back in? Where would he be?
He would be. He'd be sitting in the chair that he sits in every morning with a plate in front of him with this nasty astra jelly in front of him that has not been touched, and in his lap is a pistol. And he would turn and look at the two of them as they come in the room. I thought you were my friends.
Dorian, we are, buddy. We are. Look.
Just be quiet, Yondu. I was listening to your entire conversation through the door. Who wouldn't miss him, huh? Who wouldn't miss him?
Shit. Okay.
The kid, that's all I am to you, huh? The kid?
Look. I just woke up. I find that one of my friends, at least someone that I thought was a friend, died. Okay? I may have said some things in the heat of passion, emotionally. I'm the one suffering in pain. He didn't have to suffer. Okay? I'm the experiment. And yeah, I'm sorry. I call you a kid. In my eyes, you are.
And I'd look back at Yondu. Truce, though, huh? Us versus him. I'm gonna kill him, huh? So you're in pain because you're missing a friend. Yeah, me too. Adrian was my friend also. Well, if you're so convinced that it was me, how about you miss one more friend? And he lifts the pistol to his head and fires.
No. No. You do not get to do that. You do not get to. Fuck! Oh, shit. Fuck. No. Come on, kid. No. You're not doing this to me. Oh, fuck. Oh, come on. He's like smacking his hands and like, damn it. Okay. Come on. You can do this. You can do this now. This is not an experiment. This is real time stuff. Okay. Shit, I've never done this before. At least can't remember last time I did this for a real reason. Okay. Not an experiment.
Yondu, you're interrupted suddenly by a noise behind you of a door. Adrian walks out. I heard a gunshot. Is everything okay? What the hell is going on here? Adrian is standing there, his face covered in complete shock. His clean white coat and his clean white shirt and his clean tie are on him. He looks disheveled as always and in shock as he sees Dorian, blood spattered on the table.
Adrian? No. You're supposed to be dead.
This is a sick joke. This is something that sadistic Christmas parties are made out of. No, not happening.
What happened here? Why is Dorian? What's going on?
Shit. Look. I look around. I immediately look around, and I look around for Adrian's body that should still be somewhere in the room.
Yeah, you peek into Adrian's room. His door is still open. From when he just walked out, and you peek into his room, and his bed is messy, but there's no blood, there's no body. His room seems fine.
And I imagine where like Dorian and I moved the body earlier. Like we just moved it out of the way, we moved it, and then all of a sudden now he's back. Oh,
the note. There was the note, and she would be like searching around, where she put it in one of her pockets, or maybe Yondu had it. I'm not sure, but she'd be like looking. She'd be, do you have the note?
And I would immediately go to my pockets too and like search for the note.
What note?
The note. Fuck. You look. He grabs Adrian by the coat. Look, brother. You wrote a fucking note. You wrote a note in goddamn blood. Okay? It said it was Dorian, and then Dorian gets all Dorian gets butthurt.
Okay, and the experiments can have some side effects. I know, Yondu. You just need to try to calm down.
Side effects? This is what you call a side effect?
Okay, look, I'm gonna go press the emergency button. We'll try to get this sorted out. Just everybody, don't touch anything, and stay where you are.
No! You can't press the emergency button. No.
Emergency button.
What? Why not?
Look, I don't.
It was our fault. We'd be charged, and that would be it. That's it. My career would be over. No. Please, don't press the emergency button.
And you think that I'm a research paper now? You think that I'm a research subject now? Adrian, you're my friend. So you treat me with care and respect, and you understand me. But if others come here, they're going to take me away. They're going to lock me up. They're going to see me as a murderer. And I'm not going to be treated...
What if my team members is dead?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do here?
As of 10 minutes ago, I thought you were dead too.
What are you talking about?
Fuck. Okay. We, pointing to me and Chris, in fact, all three of us saw you. We saw you. We saw you dead. Dead right here with a cup of coffee, and you had a flippin' fucking note in your hand. Search for the note. I somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, Adrian's face is just like total bewilderment. You guys are talking about him being dead and him writing notes, and like Dorian is there in a chair with a pistol in his hand and a bullet wound in his head, and he's just completely overwhelmed. Yanni's just shouting all this information at him.
What do I need to do to see if I have the note on me?
What note?
No. Okay, there has to be a logical explanation. There has to be something in the notes. Something we might have crossed a space-time. The string theory. Something that might have caused this.
Okay. Let's think about this logically. Let's break it down. Okay, we can do this. You and I, we were in the other room. We were talking. Now, look, I was talking about killing the kid. Not going to, promise. I wasn't gonna kill him. We talked about that. I wasn't gonna, unless it was.
Adrian turns and walks for the door towards the hallway.
Adrian, what the fuck?
Chris would start after him and try to tackle him.
Jesus Christ, this is falling all apart.
All right.
Okay,
we're gonna move into initiative. Everyone wants to roll initiative.
I rolled a 0.
Not Dorian. Sorry. Oh, yeah. This game, you guys could have taken that one literally too. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong name. Randu, you're talking about how you were planning on killing Dorian, and there's notes, and Adrian was dead, and you see Adrian's face just getting wider and wider. His eyes are getting wider. And he just turns and bolts towards the door, trying to get to the hallway and the emergency console, as he firmly believes that you have completely lost it. But you are faster than he.
Yeah, and I think as soon as he does this, Yondu's body is pretty much, as far as he knows, made up of blue and red astra that are within him. And Adrian, I swear to fucking God, if you do not stop right now, I will. And he holds a hand out. I said stop! And it's a different sort of astra. It's a red astra, but it behaves in the sense of a yellow. And it's a destructive push that causes the floor, causes Adrian's feet to sort of give way, and he begins to float in midair. But as he does so, he gets slammed up against a wall. I said, stop. I promise you it's not what it looks like.
You just told me you were planning to commit murder. What am I supposed to think that looks like? And he reaches down towards his belt to something on his belt. Chris.
Chris would just say, Doctor, please, please. I've always been someone who's always very, very logical, and trust me, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't believe me either. But please, this could be so much more interesting. We're talking about changes in time. We're talking about paradoxes. We're talking about all of that. This is very interesting. And if you push the emergency button now, that all comes to an end. Please, I beg you, do not press the emergency button. We can work this out. We can figure this out. And she's gonna try to move. He's kind of held in place, and she's gonna try to move so that she kind of blocks the way to the emergency button.
Yeah, you can absolutely put your way in front of the door to the hallway. Yeah, from the wall that Adrian's been slammed into, he's kind of off to one side of it, but you kind of put yourself between him and the door. So what are just so I know, mechanically speaking, Chad, what was the effect of the spell that you did to him? Like, is he stuck in place, or was he just slammed?
So basically what it does, grab shift allows me to manipulate objects, and I can't manipulate anything larger than 10 pounds. So I imagine one of the tables in the room, right? Gets slammed up, and so he's pinned against this wall underneath this table because I can't affect a human. I can't affect a person, but I can affect objects. So the table kind of slams into him and caves into his chest a little bit, and it doesn't say he takes damage, but if you want to have him have inflicted damage from the impact, certainly, because it says for the duration of the spell, you can use the action to manipulate a single object within 30 feet of you. You can lift and move objects, open or close hatches, etc. You cannot lift more than 10 pounds using this spell, and you cannot use it to directly attack an enemy.
All right. Yeah, so you slam the table into him, and it hits him with a good amount of force, but not enough to actually cause permanent damage. But Adrian just doesn't even respond to what you're saying, Chris. He doesn't even look. He just sees that Yondu has used this astra force to blast this table at him. It's pinned him into the wall. And he kind of is looking frantically. And he pulls up something from his belt, and he points it at you, Yondu. And he presses a button on it, and a beam of red astra flies from it. It hits you in the chest. You're going to take 9 force damage. The subject's gone rogue. He's using his powers against us. You have to terminate it. Chris, help me. Restrain him. We have to take him down.
God, shit! Ugh.
Yeah, it's your turn, Yondu.
Gone rogue? God damn! You shot me, you son of a bitch! All I've ever done is be a friend to you. I wouldn't have hurt you. What the hell, man? I'm just trying to figure out why the kid killed himself. Jesus. And I think that Yondu in that moment, his fate is beginning to get very intense. as that last spell, I think. Let's see. I got to check Grav Shift real quick, but I think Grav Shift put me over the limit, over my fade limit right now. So, with that, I think he looks at you, and then he immediately, you see this like blue astra begin to form around his body, and he looks like he's looking at you, and he looks like he's going to charge, but then he blinks. Gone in an instant. As if he doesn't want to fight, he just wants to move. And he's gone from your peripheral vision for the time being. And then all of a sudden, he is over near Chris, closer to her. Look, man, we don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. I'm trying to help. Trying to solve this. We didn't kill him, man. You gotta believe me.
You were going to. You just told me you were going to.
Yeah, but I said that out of anger. I didn't actually do it.
And yet now, he's dead. You've used your astra against another colleague. That's a clear breach of contract. It has to be reported. Please, let me get to the console.
Bloody fucking duh.
We need a team to get here.
Has to be reported. It has to be reported. It has to be recorded. Ugh. And he like walks into the other room, clenching his arm from the plasma shot. Fucking hell. I have recorded every damn day for the last 5 fucking years. And I tell you one thing to trust me on. Trust me on this. And you won't?
One of my team members is dead. He killed himself due to, from what it sounds like, coercion from you guys, saying that you were going to kill him because you thought I was dead, and now you're using Astra. You guys, something is clearly wrong with you, Yondu. Please, I'm trying to help you. Just let me call for help.
Okay.
Astra's taking its toll on you. I understand. It's hard to manage.
Yeah.
Please, I can't
You
help
think?
you if you don't let me help you.
Fuck. Things are spinning. Shit. Ugh. And I think at this point he like drops to his knees. The Astra is clearly taking a hold on his blood and his energy levels. And he just drops to his knees and he looks to Chris like for any assistance, any help he can get. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. Do we give in and do we let him, or what do I do? I feel like a experiment that is running out of energy.
Adrian, you can't tell me that you don't see the potential in this. Something we did, an experiment, and he's involved in it somehow. Something is dealing with time here. This could be the breakthrough of the century. This could be everything. If you push that emergency button, then my life is over. All the research, all this potential gone. And you're going to give that up just for what? A life? People die all the time. What we're doing is much bigger than this. I am begging you. We can do something with this, please.
Shit. Look, I'm not saying I'm a miracle worker. I'm not. But look, if you just give me a second, maybe, I don't know, maybe we could. I mean, he feels like it's foolhardy. He feels like it's stupid, but maybe I could fix the kid. If you just give me a chance.
You're not sure, Chris, when you guys walk down the hallway. You don't remember, but you're there. Adrian is standing just in front of the emergency console. His hand moves up, and you don't remember when you picked that knife back up off the table. But apparently you did. You see him standing, looking away, looking at the console. If he pushes that button, everything is over. And that is where we're going to take a quick break.
Whew.
Man, that was intense.
My heart is like, I have like palpitations.
Dang, maybe I jumped the gun on that one. Feels bad. Now I'm gonna watch the rest of the game. Oh well, no, I don't know. And I don't know. I'm just gonna say that for some reason, for the character, it just felt like something he'd do when he felt like his only two friends, the only people he'd ever had who felt like cared about him, said they were gonna kill him. So
yeah. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and take just a quick. Sorry, go ahead.
Sir, just quickly. I don't know if I can't write it in the chat, but has anyone else noticed that Jeff is like a little robot-y? Because I can hardly hear him.
he goes techno sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, there are some times where you're cracking up a little bit, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Like, there's not really anything I can do about it.
I don't know if it's like your mic or what, or if it's like a headset issue or what's going on, but I do hear it every now and then.
It's either internet issues or like Hangouts uses a lot of CPU for me for some reason. Like, it really pushes my PC super hard. So it's one of those two things, which I can really do a whole lot to change.
All right, I guess be back in 10 then. I'm running to the bathroom.
Yeah, dude.
Yep, just take a quick break, grab a drink, go to the bathroom, all that stuff, and then we'll hop right back into it.
Sweet.
right? Like we've got a couple people watching, so if you're still hanging around and appreciate anybody who's checking it out. Hopefully it has been as advertised so far.
I love games like this. Like, they're so amazingly cool. Crazy. Whew.
Yeah, it's a style that I like. It doesn't lend itself well to like the average game, but like it's being able to like as a GM be like intentionally confusing and even antagonistic in places, but like have it be in a way that's like where you guys know it's for reasons and not just to be a jerk. Style that doesn't get to see, that doesn't see enough use because like you can't really do that in just like a normal fantasy whatever game. But I think Harbinger like really lends itself well to this kind of just weird.
Yeah, definitely. I love the whole like, no, I can't give you that information because, well, because kind of makes sense. So yeah, no, it's trippy. I love it.
That was the goal. Was just to be like, wait, what? That was a reaction I was hoping for.
Yup. Yeah, that definitely. Oh, yeah, my brain hurts trying to think about it and. But.
Ba-ba-ba-bum-ba-bum.
Welcome back.
Jeff, just gonna say, thanks for making me the bad guy, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm a walking, ticking time bomb, and it makes me feel good.
I mean, you're the one who attacked an innocent professor who had done nothing to provoke you out of nowhere. It seems like you did yourself the bad guy there.
Questionable PC decisions. I think we could do a whole segment on that.
Well, considering this situation was kind of designed to push questionable PC decisions, I'd say you're doing well so far. Hopefully I've left you sufficiently confused.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what I really like about Harbinger is that it's kind of like a Numenera-y feel to it, where like just weird stuff happens and with tech that you don't really understand and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the reasons it lends itself so well to something like this, is that, you know, not everything has to be explainable or stuff like that. And it's for 5e.
Yeah, like what even is Astra and what even can it do? Like it's very kind of ooh, just kind of up in the air. And like the tech being from like another time, and like people can like tinker with it but not really fully. So it's like you can kind of just do a lot of just masking behind like, well, it's a mystery, but it just works. You don't really know exactly how or why.
Yeah. So yeah, that's super cool.
Once Tyler has made his way back, we'll go ahead and do it. All right, welcome back. Looks like everybody is here. So, unless there's anything real quick, we'll go ahead and just get back to it. So, Chris, you don't remember exactly when or how you got right here. You watched Yandu throw the table into Adrian shooting him back, talking about needing to press the emergency switch. At some point, you guys must have walked down the hall with the console. You don't remember it. It's almost like a jump cut in a movie. And you don't remember when you picked the knife back up, but you did. In your hand, you can feel the weight of the handle. And you see Adrian at the console. He puts in those emergency codes. Everything is done. At the very least, your team will be shut down. You don't know if anything worse will happen as a result. He goes, his hand lifts up away, and moving towards the first button.
Chris has but a few moments to absorb all of this information. And so she doesn't really have time to process what she's doing. All she can think of is, don't let him press it. Don't let him press it. And in a movement of just sheer panic and sheer reaction, she would try to pull him back, like pull his chest back, and then doing so, also take the knife and just come up and just stab him in the front of the chest. And just
Make
make an attack.
an attack with advantage.
Does a 14 hit?
In as much or little as you'd like. What happens to Adrian?
So as she kind of plunges the knife into his front, like just this look of just utter shock as his hand is just kind of, just as he's about to press it, is just yanked away. And like she's just saying, as she's like letting him down, as he's losing his, you know, his strength to keep upright, and as she can't hold him up, so she's just kind of collapsing with him while just like whispering into his ear, just, no, you couldn't. You didn't see it. You didn't understand. You don't understand. This is big. This is so big. This could change everything. You just don't understand. And it's okay. It's okay. Your sacrifice will do good. It will be good for, it'll let us do this research. It will. It's
Yondu, you're at the end of the hall. You can see through the open door in the common area where you watched them walk. You see this unfold.
So I'm at the end of the hall where I see this unfold.
Yeah, you see this whole situation play out at the end of the hall.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for a moment he kind of goes slack. He kind of goes limp. Oh, shit. Okay, think. And he looks to Chris. You just... He was alive! A second! He had a second chance! And you killed him!
He was going to press the button. He didn't listen to us.
Shit.
He wasn't listening to us. Do you know? Do you know what could have happened? What would have happened?
Okay. Shit. Yeah, I know, I understand. Okay? Fuck. I understand. Logically, it makes sense. But this doesn't make sense. Okay? killing others for the sake of what? Research?
There is something here. You don't understand. This isn't just research. There is something here. I can feel it. There is something that is going to change.
And as you say, you
everything.
can feel it. He grabs your hand and he puts it right on his wrist so you can feel his pulse. Yeah, there is me. Okay?
Exactly. And she cups her hands in your face. She cups your face in her hands. And she's just like, it's you. It's you. You can help with this. You can, with you, we can change everything.
Chris, hon, we have 2 dead bodies. Now 2. Not 1. 2. Both of which were our friends. At some point. If you even know how to make friends. The point is, we had them. And now we don't. I'm panicking. And my blood pressure's about through the roof. So, what can we do? Think, God, dude, you dumb idiot. You write in your journal. You write your notes every day. What'd you write in your journal? What'd you write? And he goes and he runs back to the other room and he grabs his notebook and he flips it open. And he looks through the old notes, the notes from days before, days past, even before all of these days. What did he do? What's there? There has to be some sense of reality, some sense of normalcy, because none of this is normal. Where is the normal in all of this? And he looks through his books and he flips to some random page just to see if something is right. Just to see something concrete that he can remember.
You flip a book open. The first page you see would normally just be written letters. It's like if you took every letter and mixed it up to a random other letter. Where it would be a word, it's just X, Z, X, X, Y. Number sign 3, A, L. Just every page, you turn a page, it's the same thing. Turn a page, it's the same thing. All of your notes that you've ever taken are just as if you just typed random letters on a keyboard and expected it to turn out right.
No. This isn't what I fucking wrote. Okay. Okay, Chris. What do we have? What do we have in the building? What do we have in here? There has to be something that makes this right. There has to be something that is tangible, that I can feel, that I can touch, that makes sense. Because this doesn't.
No, you're right. So we have to get rid of it. We have to get rid of what doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense? Okay. Is there I would assume there's something like an autoclave where like they get rid of all like the bio waste, like an incinerator or something like that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And so I would assume that it would just be like a little chute or something, maybe. And so she'd say the autoclave where we dispose of biological contaminants. We'll get rid of what doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense
You're not
for those
saying,
to be dead.
You're not saying. Okay.
They're dead.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay. All right. This is fucking stupid. Oh shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna...
Help me with Dorian.
Okay. Okay, we'll go get Dorian. He grabs up his book from the floor that he tossed on the floor, and he grabs it up and he puts it in his one of his lab pockets, and he goes and joins her to pick up Dorian.
And Dorian's still dead, right?
Yeah, his body is still slumped over the table.
As we pick him up, does he, very similar to last time with Adrian, as we pick him up, is there anything that we wouldn't have noticed that might be on him?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I think we just grab the body and we start moving him. I imagine Dorian's a little heavier than Adrian, and then carrying both of those bodies is going to be difficult for two lanky researchers. But we're like dragging him through this facility, blood's getting on the floor and everything. And we finally get the two bodies together, and I imagine we're going to try to go and get to the cremator or the incinerator together.
I can't say that I've ever thought that I'd be cremated in an RPG before, but here we go.
Yeah. Excuse me. The two of you are able to drag Dorian's body out of the common room and into the disposal room, the incinerator, autoclave. Everything is there.
We're really doing this. We're really fucking doing this. Okay. You know, I mean, we could have saved them. You understand? I have put my own wounds back together. Okay? I've done it. What say we couldn't have done that for them?
No, death is different. For now, death is different. Who's to say in the future it doesn't change, but for now, dead is dead. And they brought it on themselves. It wasn't us. No. It was their actions. They brought this on themselves. We reacted just as any logical humans would.
He looks at you, and there's a moment where he looks at you like, I knew you were crazy, but I never thought about that till right now. And but it's like the longer you tell him this, the more you tell him this, and it's almost like repetition. The more you tell him this, the more he begins to believe that, right? Like the more he believes that, like, okay, burning them will get rid. It happens. Death happens. It's real. It's rational. It's logical. It happens. Okay, we got it. We can do this. And it's like he's psyching himself up, and he's like, okay, do it before I chicken out. Let's do it before I chicken out because I'm gonna. Oh God, I'm gonna hurl. Ugh.
Yeah, and so just like with a heave, just dump him in.
I'm gonna roll a strength check just for the fun of it. $13.
I got a 12.
Okay.
That's fine. Between the
Yeah.
two of you.
I was just trying to be like, if we got ones, we'd like chuck half the body, and only half the body burns.
Yeah, you're easily able to dump the body of Dorian down into the incinerator.
Okay.
I think there. We just did that, huh?
See, I feel better already. Out of sight, out of mind.
Fuck. Oh shit!
You're a monster.
Oh, Dorian, okay. Dorian, buddy. God damn it. Oh shit. Okay. We can do this. I can do this.
Right. Just Adrian. That's.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just Adrian. Yeah, that's a wonderful sentiment. Fucking hell.
So, yeah, we would go retrieve Adrian's body.
Be able to do so easily.
Look, Chris. I don't like this. This is not me. This is not me. I'm a researcher. I take no notes. I take down papers. Yeah, I'm kind of an asshole. I get it. But it's because I'm in pain all the goddamn time. Like, this is not right. You can see this is not right, right?
Right and wrong. Those are so arbitrary terms, don't you think? I mean, who's to say what is right and wrong? What is right for someone may be wrong for another, or vice versa. No, there is only there's knowledge, and they were gonna get in the way of that.
As you see that happen, and you see that like tears are genuinely welling down his face. Oh, fuck. I just can't. This before we burn him, okay? Just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Sure. And she just like kind of like awkwardly like turns around. She doesn't really know what to do.
Adrian, buddy, I'm sorry. I know that what you wanted. I know what you wanted from all this, and I'm sorry that I couldn't. Sorry I couldn't control myself. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry this had to happen. But she's right, you know? She's right. If we let you leave, we're dead. You know, we're dead on the outside. And I You're my best friend. You really were. You're not like all the other researchers. You weren't. You cared. You actually gave a shit about me. I walked in when I was young, but you took me in and you cared for me. God damn it, I can't look at his face. I'm sorry. I want to do this. I don't. Okay. He takes a handkerchief out of his pocket, out of his like lab pocket, and he drapes it over the top of the face of Adrian. Look, if we're gonna do this, I can't look at his face. I can't know that I'm doing this. I gotta block it out. Okay?
Sure.
Right.
And I have a spare handkerchief, so. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
One.
Let's.
Okay, on 3.
2.
3. Ugh.
It's done. It's done. That's it. That's it. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's over. He drops to his knees and looks up. And then he looks to you, Chris. So, I guess it's you and me. So, what do we do now?
Or you can answer, Chris. There's a intercom comes on. We've heard an unauthorized use of incineration materials. Please report and explain.
Unauthorized use of what the hell? Did you hear that?
All incineration must be cleared before it can be used. We didn't receive any communication from you. What's happening?
Shit. Chris, talk to him.
Yes. Of course. Sorry, we got into a bit of an issue in the lab. But everything is under control again. And the contaminants had to be gotten rid of as quickly as possible to prevent any further contamination.
Okay.
We do apologize, and we will fill out the proper protocol paperwork, and we'll take necessary actions to not let this happen in the future.
Forms, addendums, things.
I'll just need the confirmation code from Dr. Adrian, please.
Fuck. 1 moment. What the fuck do we do?
Would we know the confirmation code at all?
You would know that it would be customary for Dr. Adrian to tell them the code.
Yeah. Can't you do anything with your Astra shit?
Shit. Hold on. Let me think. Just tell them I'll be right back, okay? I'm gonna go get Dr. Adrian. Okay? I'll be right back. Just hold on.
Yes, Dr. Adrian just stepped out for a moment. He will be returning momentarily. Patient 3456 has just gone to retrieve him.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just wait right here. So just let me know when he's here, and I can get that from him.
Where could I go? Would me being in this facility for so long, would I have ever come across anything that, like anything Adrian would have known? Would I possibly be able to have heard that code in conversation?
So the issue isn't necessarily of knowing the code, but the team lead has to be the one to confirm all incineration.
Oh, okay. Shit. So I think what as sadistic and as like sociopathic as this sounds, because now that we're going down this dark tunnel, this dark rabbit hole, he's going to do it. I imagine that Adrian probably keeps a vocal log on like a recorder of some type of every experiment, this, that, and the other. There's something in the back of his brain that reminds him that is something that Adrian used to do. So you hear him run upstairs, like run up the stairs. He goes into the other rooms. He goes into Adrian's room if he can. He tries to get into Adrian's room where Adrian was originally. I imagine the door is probably still open from the scuffle. So I walk into the room, and I'm going to look around for a tape recorder, some sort of recording device that might have any sort of knowledge like that around.
Roll me a percentile.
Well, 59.
You look, and then it hits you. Adrian was getting ready to start an experiment this morning. He was already ready. He had all his supplies with him. Including his recorder.
Shit. I think to myself, okay, well, that's scratch one. Okay. I'm gonna go back into the other room. I'm gonna shake my head like I didn't find anything. We're gonna have to wing this. And Adrian and Yandu spent a lot of time together. They spent a lot of time together over the last 5 years. And what Yandu is about to do is probably going to be sacrilege. It's horrible as it sounds. But he looks to Chris and he nods. If something bad happens, like, I'm sorry.
Chris is just like looking at him, just like confounded, just like, what are you going to do? And she just begins to like shake her head. Just like, whatever you're trying to do, don't do it. Just like shaking her head.
And he's going to try and mimic Adrian's voice to the proctors as best he can.
Roll performance with disadvantage.
Performance or persuasion?
Performance, because you're trying to imitate.
Oh, okay, fine. With disadvantage too? Damn it all. Okay. I don't have that. So here goes nothing. No shit, double fives. Double fives, so it doesn't matter. Fives all around. It's horrible. It's probably because his voice is cracking and he's been all emotional. But he tries to do whatever he can to salvage this little fiasco. This is this is Dr. Adrian. I'm giving a sign off on cremation order number. I said cremation. Shit.
Did you say cremation?
No, incineration order.
I'm gonna send a team down. Something seems up. Please stay.
No. There is no reason to send a team down. I have everything under control. I promise. We are okay.
Team will be with you momentarily. Please don't leave the team. Click.
Yes. You can no. Don't. There would no. There's no need. Shit.
Shut off.
Fuck. The fuck do we do? Okay. Yeah. No, we're dead.
Would I be able to know like how long it would take for response time? I'm sure with like drills or something like that.
Make a roll. Whatever skill, either maybe history or just an intelligence, something, anything that you sense that kind of knowledge.
Okay. So that is a 16. I'm just gonna do straight intelligence because history and intelligence are the same. So.
Yeah, you would figure based off of previous drills, instant logs that you've looked up from previous things. Probably in the range of 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Are there do I know if there's video cameras recording in this area?
The only place where cameras run regularly is in the lab room. The common area and the private rooms don't have security feeds.
Okay, and the incinerator isn't in the lab room, is it?
I imagine it'd be like connected, but not in the lab room, like a separate area.
Okay. Just what I'm asking is that maybe would I? Never mind. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Chris would just kind of just shake her head. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we need to figure something out because we can't just sit here like sitting ducks waiting for them to come down here. We're going to need to figure out our story. We're going to need to get our story straight. Okay. Think. I got it. I got an idea. Maybe just it's a long shot. Maybe. We were in the lab. We were in the lab
Mhm.
together. I got in the machine. We did an experiment. And then, yeah, at least that's what you said. Do you remember anything past that?
No. Just
Okay. So what if we do it again? What if we do it again? By the time they get here, we've got, what, 10 minutes? We can go upstairs, hook me up. I'm willing to take the risk.
I don't know. There's too many variables. I haven't done any of the calculations or the recalibrating.
There's not time to do calculations. There's not time. We don't have that time. We have 2 dead bodies and an army of people on the way down here to probably kill us. Because I don't think they're going to take us lightly, considering we just burned 2 bodies. Oh, bodies of our...
This is Officer Corbin. Please open up.
Shit!
Hello?
Is there any form of like blunt object around?
Yeah. What do you find?
Maybe like a wrench or Okay. We're out of time.
Anybody in there? Please respond.
No.
Don't open the door. We're going to come in.
Look, okay. Hold on. Just give us a second. There's a lot to clean up in here. We just gotta... hold on.
This is your last warning.
Look.
Open the door.
He looks to Chris. He goes, look, I never wanted to be this. I just wish things could go back to the way they were, but they're not going to. So, I would like to grab Chris, and if possible, is there any place in this room that I might be able to jump to shadows? Like, jump out of the way, out of the line of fire, like, whatever might come through into here.
So which room are you guys having this conversation in? Let me ask you that.
So,
probably the incineration room.
Right? I mean, unless we got a chance to move, unless you gave us the chance to move upstairs and like have that conversation as we're like moving upstairs, we would have still been in the incineration room by the time they got there.
They're knocking on the front of the team door yelling, so you guys can...
Oh, we've got time. So,
yeah.
oh, okay. So yeah, we have time to like move around. I thought they were literally knocking on the incineration door. That was what I was confused about. So okay. Yeah. So, okay. Look, we've got time. Look, I'm out.
We have to hurry.
We have to hurry. We have to go upstairs. We have to try it. If they come in, don't let them stop me. Understand? You have to finish this out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good. So we go upstairs, and I imagine like she starts hooking me up, getting me all ready. They're gonna break through.
Go ahead and make your attack roll. You would make sure you hook them up correctly.
Like a tech roll?
Yeah, the same one you did last time to set them up for the
experiment.
Oh
yeah.
Sounds like that's what you guys are doing.
Yep. That's 24.
Yeah, you get all the IVs hooked in, different monitors, different equipment. The machine's word up, astra mixed. Everything ready. You hear from what's just outside of the experiment room. Shards of metal are sent flying as the door to your team segment is blasted open. You see smoke, sparks, and a man in an officer suit and two fully armored men with rifles. First in tactical formation. You can see him through the hallway. In the hallway. One of them immediately turns. You can't hear them yell through the glass, but you see their arms motion towards you as they start moving.
And so just in like a hurry, I would just get everything done and just kind of look at him just one last time and just give like a curt nod.
And I think I'm looking back through the machine, and I say, look, it's gonna be okay. Whatever happens, happens, okay? But yeah, we're gonna fix this. I promise.
She's gonna turn the machine on. Start the IV.
The machine begins whirring. The astra mixes together. And it begins to make its way through the tubing from the machine towards Yanju's body. There's another slam as one of the soldiers kicks open the laboratory door. Slams into the wall behind it as the three of them burst in. The officer pulls up a pistol, the other two aim their rifle at you, Chris. And depending on what you are planning on doing, you can either stop or we can roll initiative.
I would have to stop the experiment, or
well, the machines are already going, so that's gonna go. But
okay.
do you either surrender or fight back? Because I'll probably
No, she would.
stop this.
She has nothing on her, so she would just kind of put up her hands.
The officer nods to one of the soldiers. Have him shut it down. He begins making his way towards the machine.
Would I have been able to hear that inside the whir of the machine?
Yes.
Okay. At that, I think you see, like, I imagine it's almost like an MRI machine, right? Like how your head goes into the machine, you're in the middle of the tube, but he can see on the outside because it's just like his head, maybe not his whole body. But you see a hand come out, the hand that has the IV injected into it. I can't stop now. It could possibly fix it. It could fix all of this. We can't stop now. And a beam of red hot astra shoots toward the guards. As he can't aim, but he just shoots, knowing that it should be generally at that area. he aims to just knock anyone or anything out of his way to prevent them from stopping the experiment, to prevent them from stopping this situation.
Is this aiming towards the one guard who's moving towards you, or towards the other two who are back, taking aim at Chris?
This is towards anyone who is about to try to shut off this machine.
One of them has kind of moved up. So what happens with that as that happens? Sounds like this is a spell.
Yeah. So with that, the Astra Bolt is a ranged spell attack, and on hit, the target takes 1d8 force damage. So basically, like, the red Astra connects with them right in the chest and then just pushes backwards with like tremendous force.
Go ahead and make an attack.
Okay.
And also, everyone's going to roll initiative.
So that's 20. $21? Yeah, should be 21.
I got a 17 for initiative.
Alrighty, and how much damage that'll hit? How much damage do you run?
So with the nat 20, that would be 1d8. So I'll roll the damage and then roll the damage and double it. So that's 14 damage then. Is that how you do crits? Is like roll it and double it?
That's a red Astro. This first SWAT guard, the one making his way towards you, beyond you, to try to disable this experiment. Immediately as the blast goes off, the commander yells, "If an attack, open fire!" Yandu. Both of the guards pull out rifles, immediately taking aim. The officer brings up his pistol. They ready themselves to fire, but you'll act first.
So do I go again, or is that
that first attack was like surprise round?
Oh, okay. So then I'll act first
from within. So we'll start actually.
Okay. Okay. So I have gone over because of the particle, or because of that attack. With I've gone 3 over, or no, 1 over. I've gone 1 over my Astra Fade with the plasma beam because that was a 3. So what do I need to do for that?
I do not actually have the enemy.
What?
I do not actually have the.
I'll look at it. I'll look at the form real quick. Hold on 1 second. I'll look at it.
I think it's a D6 for the first one.
D6 for the Astra Fade. Yeah. It is a D6. Okay. So Astra Fade table. I got a. Oh shit. Okay. Astra Fade table. I rolled a 5. Astra brings you to the floor. You are knocked prone. So I imagine like that last blast that I had was so intense, was so strong that like it knocked him out in the machine. So he is like, as he goes to do another attack, the machine gets moved backwards. from that blast, and as soon as the machine stops moving, he's out cold.
Yeah, you feel the tension of all the IVs like pull on you as you're knocked down from the blast. Yeah, it just knocks you prone.
Yeah, knocks me prone. So I'd be still awake and still conscious, but like definitely knocked out of the way.
Yeah, so you're on the ground. Yeah, inside this machine.
Yeah.
Officer Corbin is going to pull up his pistol. He aims at you, Chris. He's going to take a couple shots. The first one is going to be 22. All right, and that will be 12 piercing, actually, max damage. As he lets this pistol just... like he has the aim of a trained military professional, an expert shot. But, thankfully, and lucky for you, he goes to pull the trigger a second time, but the gun jams. As he rolls a nat 1, he out a curse and slams the pistol to try to eject the jammed round from the gun. But that'll be his turn to do so. And then it is your move.
So Chris is going. Is Corbin the one that's approaching the? Was approaching to turn off the machine?
No, Corbin is the officer. He's kind of stationed up by the door with one other guard right next to him, and then the other guard has approached up towards the machine.
Okay. Upon hearing Yonda's words, it just kind of snaps her back. No, we've gotten this far. I have to keep going. And she's going to try and hit this guy over the head with the wrench that she had kind of picked up. The guy approaching the machine.
Alrighty, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a 12. Is that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, these guards are very well equipped. They're decked out fully in armor, SWAT gear, high intensity stuff. You go to swing the wrench, he brings his arm up, and the metal plate on his arm catches the wrench and it glances it down off to the side.
Damn it. So yeah, she's just kind of like, she is just in fear right now, like just in survival mode right now.
Alrighty, and I'm going to need you, Chris, to make an athletics or acrobatics opposed for me real quick. Looking to beat a 19.
No.
This soldier that you just tried to bash with the wrench, as he sends the wrench off to the side, glancing it off the armor on his arm, he brings up a foot and front kicks you in the chest. It sends you sprawling back 10 feet and prone onto the ground. He turns towards the machine that Yandu is strapped into, and with a quick snap of the end of a notch on his rifle, he's going to let a burst of automatic fire just spray into this machine. Pieces of the machine start to spark up. You can see blasts of astra and smoke fly from it. And Yandu, I'm going to need you to make an astra check for me real quick. As this man lets this just open fire hail onto all the machinery that's pumping you full of this astra, you feel the astra, as it's coursing through you, pumped in by the IVs, start to go haywire by the mechanics of the machine being compromised by the bullets. But luckily, you're able to control it. You're able to keep it in check for now with your own power. But you know if it keeps going like this, that it's going to get ugly. If this machine goes up with you still hooked in it, it's not going to be a good sign.
Right.
The second guard readies his gun. He's going to take a couple shots at Chris lying on the ground. And that is going to be a 23, which is probably going to do it, and a 15, and I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, they both hit.
Ouch. Oh god, this is going to hurt a lot. That was max damage and one off of max damage, so it's going to be 27 piercing.
Yeah, Chris is down.
Yeah, there's just a of machine gun fire from this SWAT guard. Bullets just littering in. Yandu, you would hear this happen. The thud of Chris hitting the ground as she's kicked in, and just you see the other guard just aim over and just unleash a spray of bullets in that direction. You know there's no way he missed. And with the amount of fire, you don't have to see out of the machine into where Chris is to know what just happened.
Right.
The officers and the guards look to the machine now, with only you left to stand in the way. But first, before they can get to you, Yandu, you know they're about to fry this machine wide open with you inside it.
Right.
This is your last opportunity. What do you do?
I think Yandu sees Chris fall. He thinks of Dorian and how what he said, what it caused. He thinks about Adrian and the years that they became friends, and he thinks about his whole crew. And it's just this heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching pain. But then a memory kicks into his head. I remember what I'm fighting for. I remember why I did this. I remember why I walked in here. I remember why I did these things. And it's a memory of him. A memory of him holding a small child in his arms, before he ever became a part of a research team, before he ever became a part of anything. There was a small child. He may have only been 21 before he got in, but there was a small child. And at that moment, he stands up, clenches his teeth, says, "You've taken everything from me. My life, my friends, everything. I will not let you take this. I will not let you take this. And with that, he shoots the last thing he does is he clashes his hands together, and a ray, a beam of red hot astra. And at this, I'm going to boost the plasma beam up as basically as much as I can, knowing this is my last ditch effort to do as much damage as possible. I'm letting the machine basically do what it should, but still attached to me. I'm trying to prevent them from doing any damage to it. So I'm pushing as much energy as I can out of this machine and into the fray, just trying to save the process from ending as fast as it can. So what would I need to do for that? Because I'm basically going to be rolling. I'm basically going to try to do plasma beam, but at like full max damage capacity.
All right. What needs to happen for that?
So if I boost
Will
it,
they make dex saves?
yeah, they have to fail to. Yeah, the fire lingers, and each character who fails a dex save takes an additional 1d8 fire damage on the start of the next turn. The area of effect is a 30-foot cone, and each creature takes 4d8 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. So my DC is 15, and yeah, I'm just gonna shoot out, and then they'll take. If they miss, they take 2d8, so they'll take 4d8 basically with this one. 4d8. And so 21. They'll take 21 damage, plus an extra. So 29 damage altogether. And that 30-foot cone.
So, as you push this blast of Astra out, the red beam streaking out into a cone, filling the room with red and more red, and in streaks of blue mixing into it. As the Astra from the machine continues to pump through you and then out of you in the form of this cone, the Astra gets stronger, stronger, stronger. Until there's nothing left. No guards, no officer, no Chris, no Dorian, no Adrian, no lab. No Yandu. The Astra just overwhelms. All senses fade. All experience gone. And when the Astra clears, we see 4 bodies. One, Dorian, the bullet went in his head. One, Adrian, the hole in his back. Chris, littered with bullets. And Yandu, fried by Astra. These bodies are not in a lab room, not even in a facility, twisting foreign hallways. We pull out from the scene, out of these twisting hallways, these 4 corpses, and into space. We see 2 men on a ship. One looks to the other. That's where the transmission ends. There's no other recordings. No. And you're sure you have the source correctly, right? Promise. Came from them. Came from our team. Came from in the Harbinger. I don't know what happened to them. It sounds like it was bad. I wonder what they were talking about. It even sounded like they were themselves. And that is where we'll end. Not sure.
Wait.
Yep.
I just feel like I was in an episode of The Twilight Zone. Wait, I'm so confused.
Like,
So
I don't know what to say.
I'd like to do a little epilogue here. Well, not so much an epilogue as a prologue, if I can put you guys on the spot.
Yeah.
I want to hear who Dorian, Chris, and Yandu were before they were sent on their expedition into the Harbinger, before they went into complete insanity inside the walls of the Harbinger and lost their minds.
Huh. Okay. I'll
Dorian,
break
go
the
ahead.
ice, I guess, and go first. I think Dorian was actually the exact opposite of who he was. He wasn't a coward. In fact, he was the leader of the expedition. He wasn't a scared kid who wasn't confident in who he was. He was actually a born leader who just got a little bit too confident in taking such a small team into the Harbinger. He wasn't the kind of person who let himself be defined by the things that people believed and didn't believe about him. In fact, he was a self-made man who did grow up as a street urchin, but made it as a well-respected mercenary. And most of all, I think that Dorian didn't doubt that people cared about who he was or that he was alone. Because when he set foot on the Harbinger, he was with his best friends, and that would never change. And I think what happened when his mind broke is he became all the things he feared being. And yeah, dang.
Beautiful. That was awesome.
So I think that Chris was somebody who was hurt a lot by people, and she went on this mission into the Harbinger as a way to just get away from everything and everyone, so that she didn't have to care, so that she didn't have to use her, she didn't have to care about what others thought. She wanted to just be with her friends and be with, do something interesting, and I think she kind of got what she wanted in the end, just in the Harbinger, and just she kind of lost her humanity, kind of driven mad to the point of just not caring about anyone and just seeing them as a number. And I think that's something that she always wanted and that she always aspired to be, just someone who cared less. But then in turn doing so, what she thought she wanted was actually just, it led to her own craziness and to eventually, I guess, her demise, like in the Harbinger. Yeah. This is trippy.
Beautiful. And how about Yandu?
Yandu in his pre-Harbinger life was a man who feared his astra, a man who genuinely thought that the astra he had would tear his family apart, that they would hunt him, that they would see him as a monster. And so I think when he goes to the Harbinger and he loses that family, right? Like he loses his daughter, he loses his wife and the ability to see them. And he's told that he has to go on this trip, on this mission to the Harbinger, and that he may not make it back. Missions to the Harbinger don't just take a day, they don't just take a month, they don't just take years. They take, like, they could take ages, they could take decades. You go, and if you lose yourself, you lose yourself. So I think there were parts in this game where I found him searching and seeking and trying to remember those little bits of his old humanity, his daughter, the fact that, you know, he always felt tired. He always had those night terrors. The fact that he kept feeling like he was being tortured, even though day in, day out, he did it for research. And that was his life. But his pre-Harbinger life, he hated being a Mancer. He hated having Astra. But that's the life of a researcher. You agree to go on a mission, to gain research, to see what you can find. And that's what he did. I think in the imagery, he finds that deep inside of all that cowardice, inside of all that fear of being judged and being taken control of, there was an inner monster. Like there's this inner anger and this fear that he wouldn't be able to come back. And using that, he ended it. But he ended it because he just embraced the Astra. He embraced it so much. The thing that he thought that he couldn't use, the thing that he thought he should never use, he used it too much. And now he is lost to his family, to his friends, and to everything. And the Harbinger.
Beautiful. And the three of them will be remembered not for their last moments in the Harbinger, not remembered as their insanity, as the things they did that led them up to that moment before. And that's what we'll go ahead and call it here. We'll end the session. Real quick, thanks so much to everybody who watched. I'm going to go ahead and let these guys do some outros real quick. Just real quick, if you guys want to just plug the channel, say anything that you want to say, final thoughts about the game, anything else you want to plug. We'll go Chad, and Megan, and Tyler.
Oh, man. Jeff, like, I love you, dude. And this is why we're best friends. Because you do this kind of shit to me, and I love it. This was an awesome game. I don't think I've ever been in a game very much like this. This was super surreal and very, very cool. So thank you so much, Jeff, for having me. Guys, my name is Chad Knick. You can find me over on YouTube at the same name, Chad Knick, K-N-I-C-K. And then you can also find me as a third party to Dudes of Yore with Jeff and our buddy Jeremy Lilly. And other than that, man, I love this game. I cannot say enough. You guys are fantastic. You guys are awesome, and I don't think I've ever been more emotionally attached to a one-shot character in my life. This was amazing.
So yeah, I'm Megan with the YouTube channel Dice on Ice. I am one half, and tonight I played a character that I've never played before, which is just a complete and utter sociopath, which was awesome. It was amazing. I loved it. I loved playing with all of you. Thanks for having me again, Jeff. Like, it's always such an awesome time. You always bring such awesome ideas and narratives and just situations, and it's always such a blast to be able to play, and so this one was absolutely no exception. And so yeah, thanks for having me.
Jeff, I'm beginning to wonder if you've got some sort of vendetta to kill each and every one of my characters. Though in all fairness, I guess I did kill myself this time, so...
I was gonna say, who killed you this time?
The situation killed me, man. It was what Dorian would do. Yeah, I don't know. I think that moment is one of the most interesting moments I've had for a character, because like I didn't mind sitting out afterwards either, just because like it felt like that's what he would do. I mean, finding out that the only people he ever cared about were planning to kill him, just because they didn't believe his story. that for him that was pretty tough. But no, it was a great game. I'm Tyler Hurst from the channel On a Roll. That's RLE, like role play. Had a blast at this game. Never have I been so screwed with in a game in my life. Jeff, good job. I hate you. But tons of fun. As always, great playing with you, Chad and Megan. Always a pleasure. You guys always bring great role play to the table. Or I guess the computer or the internet or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I had tons of fun. Dorian will forever live on in my heart. And he's just ashes in space now, so that's fun.
Awesome. And I put everybody's YouTube channels that they talked about in the description. So if you're watching this either live or after the fact, please check out their channels. They all do really, really, really good stuff. I've had the benefit of playing in games run by all of them, and they do really, really good things. And also, completely thank you guys, players, so much. You guys made this game. Like I was like 10% of this game tops, and you guys just absolutely killed the rest of it. I was very specific with the people I picked for this because I knew it was going to be really off the wall and weird and wouldn't make any sense. And I'm so happy with the people that I ended up with because you guys totally killed it and made that super awesome. Anyways, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and sign off here. Thank you for anybody who watched. I'd love to hear anybody's thoughts about this if you end up watching it. And thank you so much to my players, and I'll see you guys all next time.